Am I the a-hole for suing my ex? So I dated a YouTuber. We went out for about a year and it was alright, but they were so emotionally invested in their channel that they constantly neglected me and made me feel like I wasn't a priority. Not really important why we broke up, but we broke up. Then I get a bunch of messages from friends about 3 months later telling me to go to their channel. I'm pretty much done with them, but I do, and I realize they made a video about me where they claim I was emotionally abusive. I continued to get messages from strangers telling me how awful a person I was and how they hoped I died through various means. So I sued my ex. It ruined them. I knew they were financially in a bad spot and they likely couldn't afford court fees, but the case dragged. They made a video about not being able to afford court costs and such, and how it was going to ruin them. After which a bunch of friends started telling me to just let it go and move on, but I had sunk money into the case as well. It wasn't cheap for me either, so I didn't just let it go. Eventually the judge ruled in my favor and I received a total of nothing from my ex. But it meant I could link to the result in the comments section of every video she tried to frame me as the bad guy, because in our state, court proceedings are public record. Suddenly her viewership dropped and she blamed me for ruining her life. A bunch of my friends said I went too far and should have just taken the court win and left her alone. Was I the a-hole? You're not the a-hole. Actions have consequences. Her content could have ruined your life, but nobody thinks about that, huh? Time to double down, OP. Get yourself a gather sign, grey sweatpants, Range Rover, and start making money off of this. I'd subscribe. God no. I'm done with the spotlight for at least a while. The lack of privacy was the worst part of that relationship and I'm not missing any of it. You're not the a-hole. The ex shouldn't be using a private relationship for YouTube views and deserves everything they got. Someone call Gabby Hanna, please. Let her know this. You're not the a-hole. Don't feel badly. Part of enforcing a libel or slander suit is to publicize it so that the public record is corrected. That's pretty much the entire point, right? That the wrong party is made whole. In this case, meaning not getting angry messages from random fans of a liar. Especially as it sounds like the ex is continuing to make these claims for views. It's entirely their own fault that they were ruined. Number. If you're victimized by defamation, the court doesn't have the power to make you whole in that sense. You can publicize your win, but, depending on the circumstances, it may make things worse for you, not better. That's not really any of the court's business, though. The court's role is to award damages, that is, money, to reimburse you for the harm to your reputation. There's also criminal defamation laws in some states. Something tells me that why you broke up might be kind of important to the story. Why we broke up isn't important equals I did something dickish, but I don't want it to affect my judgment. I mean, no matter what they did during the breakup doesn't matter. Artsex slandered them on a public platform, and from the sound of it encouraged, or at the very least facilitated, their viewers to dox OP as well. Imagine if a potential employer looked up OP, and the first results were videos of someone just trashing OP. Imagine if the ex had a huge following, and their followers actively harassed OP. It's a dick move, capitalizing your breakup for more views and to screw over your ex's life. We don't actually know they were slandered. OP doesn't say they weren't emotionally abusive in the post. It just means that the ex wasn't able to prove it was true in court, which would be unsurprising if someone was abusive, to be honest, as well as obviously if they weren't. I'm starting to be concerned by two facts. OP gives non-answers every time someone asks if he perhaps was abusive. He did not try to reach some agreement before getting to court, like most sensible people do. He went in for full destruction. Still, based solely on the info provided, I'll go with you're not the a-hole. But I'm wondering if this is one of those posts where there's more to the story. You're not the a-hole. That's called libel. You were 100% in the right to sue her. Reddit. It's been said multiple times now. It is not libel, it is slander. You all can stop correcting it now, it has been explained. Please read subsequent comments. Libel? Ducking autocorrect. Yes, that one. I smell BS. Edit. Thanks for the award. I'm pretty sure OP is having a good laugh at all the false attention they're receiving. Right? Every ducking one here is like play stupid games, win stupid prizes, okay, but for all the people here ducking, no, she was telling the truth and OP just didn't like it or think it counted as emotional abuse. That doesn't mean OP wasn't emotionally abusive. This shit is so fake it isn't even funny. Seriously, let's get a modicum of info. OP, I'm a lawyer and this sounds fake AF. What did you bring suit for exactly? The bar in libel suits is extremely high since courts are reluctant to curtail free speech. Let's see the complaint you filed in court, or the link to the verdict you supposedly had no problem sharing all over YouTube. What kind of evidence was offered from your side? I would even take an ounce of information that sounds specific enough to be real. Info. Did you consider that she saw your behavior in the relationship as emotionally abusive and examine your actions to be sure? I'm not saying what she did was right. There is a possibility though that she genuinely believes your relationship was abusive. Info. Why'd you break up? I think it could matter. You gloss over it and IDK of it's because you might look bad or because it really doesn't matter. Also, what did you do that she saw as emotionally abusive? You never explain whether or not you were actually emotionally abusive. Exactly. In the case of am I the a-hole for suing my ex for slander? Then no. But am I the a-hole for suing my ex after I emotionally abused her and she talked about it publicly? Yes, of course. It is absolutely relevant why they broke up. Info. Did you guys break up because you were emotionally abusive? I broke up with her because I wasn't a priority to her and decided I wanted a relationship where I wasn't the consolation prize to internet strangers. You're the a-hole. You're clearly leaving out facts that will alter your judgment. You never stated why there was a breakup, dismissing it as non-important. You don't respond to any info comments asking for specifics, so you did probably do what she was making videos about. Also, you didn't even try to come to an agreement with her. You went straight to ruining her life. You're the a-hole for lying about this, being emotionally manipulative, and going straight to court. You're not the a-hole. Damn, she slandered you on a public platform. I'd be pissed too. To me, the fact that this has been settled in court and the judge ruled in your favor supports the fact that your ex is in fact a much bigger a-hole. The fact that their YouTube viewer base eroded is likely due to her being a not so great person. I don't think any of us can make a proper judgment and the people trying are wrong for it. I think that if you were emotionally abusive that she had every ducking right to talk about it. Unless she straight up lied about events outright, then I think you're the a-hole.